Well then, good morning everyone. Yes, it is morning, and yes, we did have a slight IT issue at the start there. Always good when you press go live and then your sound's not coming out and you have to restart the entire machine just to get the stuff working properly. Love it. Always a great time. But yes, it is Saturday. And originally we've got planned to have this be like a what am I trying to say? I'll start that sentence again. Yes, it is Saturday. We're doing co-working and just generally getting stuff done because I've had ideas of content in mind for a while, but just never really had the time to sit down and do it. So this is kind of me almost holding myself. I hate to say holding myself accountable because that's I don't know. It sounds a bit of a flimsy HR Twitter brigade kind of statement, but here we are. So I'm going to be working on scripts for what I'm planning is best described as probably like a TED Talk, but with no or limited visuals, so you can have them playing in the background while you're being a productive member of society. Excuse me. So, I'll show you how the sausage is made as well. I will share the screen. Where is it? Window capture. That'll do. Okay, and if I move this over here, does that move it for you? It does not. Just shimmy that over. There we go, nice. So that's going to get right in the way of the chat box, so that's not going to work. Let me put that over here. That'll do, good enough. Now then, I can see Everything, yes, marvellous, wonderful. So, let's do a little quick skim through. Also, spoilers, obviously, but that's alright. I need to refresh this. How do I do it again? Update. There we go. Let's see. How do I want to start this? So I'll have the closing line in as always. So that's easy enough done. How do I want to start this? Always best to start with the background. Yes, I'm a heavy typer. I'll have to get used to it, I'm sorry. That one. Let me show. How long is this playlist actually in total? Hour and 9. I can always change it to another one. Oh dear, excuse me. Just coming out of being ill since last Thursday, so over a week of being ill, bored of it, but absolutely exhausted. Miserable time. Let me share my... I don't know, to start this, I can't think of the right words. I'll let it flow and then I can polish it up later. Let's see. Sounds better. Is that right? Is that how you spell it? Yes, it is. Good. And then is he? So I was just looking up. Tell you what, I'll share my screen, share my window, so you got at least something to look at. So you can watch me. Watch me researching. Yeah, window capture. There we go. Right, I'm not too fussed if you see behind the scenes for the dashboard. Let's do that. Transparency is always... I find it can be a little bit lacking at times, so... That'll do. So this is our... This is the main research. Oh, yeah. Need to update my, yeah, I need to update my bookmarks and stuff as well. Let's see. There, right. Through. Was it? Yeah, I learned of Kizuna first, and through her. Yeah, I think gravitate is probably the word I'm looking for. Right spelling. Yeah, that is right. Okay, good. A bit loud in here. There, that's a bit better. Okay. Yeah, so when was it? I think it was 2024. No, maybe it wasn't the end, it was possibly around the middle. Because I know I had a break from it. This I rate my memory sometimes. Let's see. Put something on. Yeah. I need to do thumbnails at some point. Oops. Just do that for a minute. What's wrong with that? Nothing, it's just Word being a fuss ass. Good, okay. how you spell thing. Yeah, now, how do I want to say this? Let's try and find some synonyms. Let's expand the vocabulary, so may. No, we use fervent. We use fervent. Just emphasize that so I make sure it's do so when it comes to the reading. That's a question I wanted to ask. When it comes to actually recording these, would it be of anyone's interest to actually see how it works behind the scenes, or how I do it behind the scenes in terms of my recordings? Not that I have any done so far, but I have a method that I refined from the voice acting days, so that could be a thing, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll float the idea on Twitter. Not that I think anyone sees my posts so very much. I seem to. I don't think I show up in anyone's algorithms. I don't quite know how to do it. How to change that. Right, where was I? Yeah, that is the right way. Yeah. No. Or, oh, how can I word this? This is one thing you'll notice of me is I do a lot of thinking out loud. It's it could be a problem. No, it's not fair to say antisocial tendencies. Why are we getting crackly audio? What's going on here? Pass. No, that's not the right. Right. What's the word I'm looking for? What is... Excuse me. General is the word I'm looking for? No, none of these feel correct either. Not perfunctory. Maybe detached. Yeah, that's the closest. Observation, I think, is the word I'm looking for there. Uh, so for context, because obviously I'm not showing you the full script because that's going to spoil future videos. I'm just laying out observations and so forth, but I need to express and stress that everything that I'm going to be talking about is from my observation, my viewpoint. So obviously everyone's mileage may vary. So quite often I'll need to go back through writing a script because I've got a few planned already, and I should actually knuckle down and get these recorded. To be honest, I need to redo the intro as well. I'm not happy with that. But yes. No, lost the thread of that sentence. Where was I going with it? Yeah, no, it's just making sure that people understand, whoever listens to it, that commentary is my opinion. A bit like one of those corporate statements, like the views expressed by the X person are not representative of a larger whole or something. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully I'm making sense. I'm trying to think with two different mindsets at the same time. It's very confusing. Right then. Not things too vague. No, because it's not exactly. It's not all. Can't label it all with. No, maybe I just have to add couching words around it. Excuse my stomach. Have I eaten today? Yeah, I had. Yeah, I had a little bit of breakfast, but I'm on one of those 800 calories a day diets at the moment, so I'm starving. Let's see. This has come across quite a negative script so far. Maybe I'm jumping into this whole bit a bit too early. It's one thing I want to do with at least every video, or most videos that express some form of opinion, is at least produce things in a balanced way. Because I do like to consider all. Oh, excuse me, stretch. Consider alternative perspectives to my own, positive and negative. And let's be honest, my default setting is rather pessimistic. So it's good for me to practice as well, to be honest. Oh yeah, I should probably drop this little disclaimer as well. Try and think back to when I So, bit of context. I'm dropping a little bit of lore. Not character lore, but me personally. And that's back in the early days prior to me properly launching as a VTuber. I applied to be in Nijis Sanji, of all things. Baffling choice of actions there, but mercifully, and obviously, I didn't get in. And if they approach me now, I'm going to tell them to go somewhere else, politely. I'm just trying to think back of what my mindset was at the time, whether I was just looking to... what I was looking to achieve at that point. Such as my... build a career, I suppose. Let's do it. Career. Yeah, I suppose it has. Is the not goodwill? Let's find a synonym. Altruism. I like that word. We'll go with that. Point. There, that's better. I don't like using thing much. So just because I run into it enough in the day job, in technical documents no less, and it concerns me. It concerns me when something technical includes the word thing. It's like, what? Yeah. Staff are using this. Newcomers are training off this. Let's at least be a little bit more accurate than thing. Existing significance. Portions? Sections? Portions. I'll go back through it later. I think this is where I need to transition into the more critical aspects. Frequently overshadowed by more. Concerning. Traits? Would that be work? Would that work? Yeah, I think that works. Supposed to be on sunset? Yes, it is. Okay. Let's read through what I've got so far and see if I'm going down the right path with it, first of all. Yep. Yeah, that's fair. 2024, I think. Because I quit being a VA in all but word. I honestly fooled myself for a little while, saying, "Oh no, I'm just taking an extended hiatus." No, I quit. And then kind of leaned more into, kind of took that into being, took that over into more VTuber stuff. I think it is mid 24. Yeah, that's accurate. Is that too long a sentence now? Yeah, that's fine. I gotta try and think that I'm going to be reading this out loud at some point. So it needs to be something that I can say in one breath. Otherwise, it's just gonna sound rubbish, to be honest. Where was I? Here we go. Yeah, here. Sorry, no. Yep. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Charity events to supporting individuals in their time of need, a lot of good can come from the region. Yeah, that's fair, I think. Sadly, though, this is frequently overshadowed by more concerning elements. True. One trait I did notice quickly was how fervent YouTube communities can be, or in conflict behaviour and how unpleasant that was for me personally. Yeah, I genuinely dislike how fervent communities can get. It's deeply off-putting. Throat's getting a bit sore. So here we go, and then go from there. Now, whether this stems from a hatred of hype culture or a slight detachment of things remains to be seen. Yeah, no, it might be more the detachment than this bit. Otherwise, the hype culture is a plague. I do kind of take a stand back from a lot of things just because I never fully buy into anything because I don't really. I don't never see the appeal of it, to be honest. I don't know what that says about me, but I'm sure there's some armchair psychologists out there who's going, oh, it means this, but whatever. But regardless of observation, something that's stuck with me constantly. Yes. Yeah, I noticed this way back. And ever since then, I've always had a bit of an eye out saying, like, when's this going to turn into a cult? But let's see. But let's continue. Another aspect that was like it's certainly prevalent in the air. Another aspect that, well, obviously not indicative of VTubers, is certainly prevalent. That should be in. Yeah, can't spell. Here. Child lecturer that happens always daily. I could phrase that better. How can I phrase that better? No. That reads weird. No, let's make that. It should be is, and I should move. Yeah, that reads better. cynical, but it is fair, I think. Obviously. Ever present. Background character. Not virtual, virtue. This is gonna be getting a little bit. What's the word? Snarky? Bitter? No, not bitter. Just expressing my general distaste of politics and virtue signalling. Either side of the bit of a hyperbolic statement, but you got to be hyperbolic to get drama and engagement these days. Tiresome. There, a little bit bitter, but I should call out. not array. No, it is array. That's better. Your models, content, and that's not how you spell that. Utilize. I think that's fair. Other points include the volume of creativity, display the huge array of models and content to the leaps. To the little. That's better. And the leaps of innovation and technology brought about by streamers looking to utilize 3D in their work. Yeah, it's impressive and commendable because it's, you know, it's fair. Fair credit where credit is due. And this is going to be the hardest, the most difficult question in this entire script. something, just remember something that needs to be called out. That needs rewording because it's a bit too general, because obviously that's not entirely true, because people do get sponsors, but are we back at the start again? Yeah, we are. Let's put on adding. There, fair. Right. Back to the difficult question. Mm, mm, mm. Uh, do I not have that spot? I think that's fair. What would be a solution? Or are there possibly multiple, but... There is no... There's definitely no one-size-fits-all solution. Yeah, maybe go with that. That's not right. There we go. That's a bit mean-spirited, but hopefully the point will come across. I don't get copyright dinged for this, but we'll see. How long do I want this to go on for as well? I'm nearly at the end. Do I have any? I think that's the problem. I don't have any solution at the present. Nothing's coming to mind. Nothing quite feels adequate enough. Bit of a flat note to end on, but I think let's read through it again. See if it can work. Always remember to save your work. Oh, it's nearly lunchtime as well. Excellent. I'm starving. So, before we begin, allow me to share my history of watching and generally engrossing myself in the VTubers. Yeah, you guys make introduction's gonna be 15 seconds or less and has to include what you're actually talking about. That's one of the cardinal rules apparently of making content. Well, I don't remember when I first became aware of VTubers through Lucy article of all things mentioned Kizna through her learned of Hina Hina and Hololive, which I, like a number of people, gravitated towards. I don't have the times exactly right, since my memory is always a little porous, but I think I saw Gen 3 of Hololive before I learned the prior generations. Either way, I became a fan. Not a hardcore fan, but a fan nonetheless. I became a VTuber roughly mid-2024 after leaving voice acting. That's a whole separate conversation, and very typically stepped into the scene. I was already aware of Western VTubers having a couple back when I first tried streaming while I was still a voice actor. Why does that sound clunky? I think it's that first... Yeah, that's better. I was already aware of Western VTubers having watched a couple back while. There we go. While I was still a voice actor, though I forget who when I lost login credentials for my VA account long ago. I would apply to be Neji Sanji at one point, looking at everything that's happened in the end branch. Thank God I didn't get in. Such was my desire to build a career in something that had become something of a fascination at that point. One point that should be point and point. That's bad. That's bad writing. Blind man. Better. Such was my desire to build a career in something that began something and something. Of sorts. By then, yeah. We'll come back to that. Such matters on develop appearance of the fascination of sorts back then. One point that should be called out early is the altruism that exists in significant portions of the community. Charity events and supporting individuals in their time of need of good can come from the VTuber community. Other points include the volume of creativity displayed in a huge array of novels and content, with leaps of innovation and technology brought about by streamers looking to utilise 3D in their work. It is extremely impressive and commendable. Sadly, though, this is frequently overshadowed by more concerning elements. One trait I did notice quickly was how fervent VTuber communities can be, bordering on cult-like behaviour, and how off-putting that was for others. This stems from my hatred of hyperculture or slight detachment of most things remains to be seen, but regardless, that observation is something that stuck with me constantly. Constantly? Consistently. Constantly, I think is the one I want. Yeah. Another aspect that is certainly prevalent is the mere childlike drama that happens on these days, while obviously not indicative of all VTubers. Social media times are particularly clogged with pointing the finger about that day's issue. A lot boils down to this person said did something I don't like, and thus we get a good old docking because docking sounds too grown up. Hate brigades and cancellation attacks. Sometimes serious allegations are handled in this manner rather than filing a report with local authorities, which baffles me to no end. If someone's committed a crime, why not press charges? Suffice to say, the wider world, including potential business partners and sponsors, see this and think, no, I'm alright, thanks, not bringing that into my business. Which doesn't necessarily apply to everyone, since VTubers can and do get sponsored, but I can't help but wonder how much sponsorship has potentially been lost from playground behaviour. Behaviour or antics? I think I want antics there. Naturally, politics become an ever-present background character with the ever-transparent virtue signalling economy, because everything has to be boiled down to which side you're on, and the ability to peacefully disagree and coexist is a lost art. The question then is, what do we do to fix things? What is the solution for the negative observations, and how can we better emphasise the positives? To say it's just a matter of perspective would be to deny the recurring problems of parasocial viewers, immoral, though not necessarily illegal, conduct, death threats, doxing, etc. Is that 1x or 2? I think it's 2x's. That exists not just in the VTubing space, but in the streamer ecosphere as a whole. I don't believe there is a one-size-fits-all solution. Social media hashtags do let us change behaviour. Hashtag be kind anyone. But then what are we left with? Political tribalism wrapped up in views and clout hunger, topped off with emotional immaturity from streamers and their fan bases. It's an admittedly unfair sweeping generalisation, but hopefully you get my point. Any potential ideas I have for fixing things, or at least redressing the balance, feel insufficient. Maybe just things like hold each other to a higher standard behaviour. It's just so much empty words. But this is all just my opinion. Share your thoughts below. Just keep it respectful. Thank you for your time. See you later. Yeah, I think that's alright. I think that's alright. I'll see how it sounds once I've done a proper recording of it, and then if needs be I can polish the wording up again. But yeah. That went quicker than I expected, to be honest. So what do we do? What? I think I'm starving for lunch, to be honest. So I'm not gonna read this time. I think I am just gonna. I might just wrap it up. But we will. I think we'll just wrap up, I think, for today. I'm going to go grab some lunch and get on with the rest of the day. And hopefully you all have a good day as well. Thank you all very much for joining me. Brief though it was. And I'll see you next Saturday. Cheers all. Bye.